is here to discuss a flat earther's journey and perspective. And he's got a PowerPoint. He said it's about a 45-minute presentation. So sometimes, people interrupt and ask questions. I'd like to say let's, let him have the 45 minutes to present, because we'll have some time for Q&A later. And then, so following that, I've got a few questions, sort of organized questions that I've been eager to ask somebody of the flat earth persuasion. So we've got dueling computers set up there. So I think I've got maybe 25 minutes worth of questions. And then we'll have our skeptical donuts, and we'll have some just general Q&A. Sound right? So that's our plan. So Bruce Lacey, come on up. There he is, and you have the com.
All right. Yeah, there. I've been giving this speech like 20 years, so didn't like them then. All right. All right, flat for anybody know about the yin yang symbol there?
Yeah.
Do you know that's actually from recording the sun's shadow during the year? That's what you actually end up with if you record the shadow every day for a year. You end up with the yin-yang symbol. It actually is for positive, negative too, and the sun and the moon. So interesting symbol. It has a lot more than just a drawing. All right, here. Got mine. So as you know, my name's Bruce, and I'd like to tell you I'm allergic to alcohol. Yeah, every time I drink it, I break out in handcuffs. Glad the right meeting? The reason why I say that is more than just a joke. It's easier for people to come out as a raging alcoholic than for people to say that they're a flat earther. Some are downright scared that they will receive ad hominem attacks, but no one knows this better than flat earth content creators. I mean, they receive it daily, and I've decided to show a couple. Here's ODD. He is a content creator, and he's going to share a couple of the comments. Warning, there is graphic language. I actually cut out the really worst ones and just put a couple in there so y'all can see what it does when you talk about the subject.
I'm going to pray, and I won't stop until my
We don't have
prayers
volume, do we?
are answered, and your
let's have done that now.
redneck
I guess
ass
you can.
is hit by a bus. We need a holocaust for flat earthers. If I see one more flat earth video, I'm going on a killing.
Well, it's also captioned, so.
Are people
Yeah,
really?
I think I have other ones
It's
that.
obvious there is a spinning sphere. If it wasn't, scientists would tell us. Now go slap your mom for raising such a fucking asshole. Gravity is not a theory. It never was a theory. Science fact since the beginning of time. Jump off a building and see, you stupid fucking flat earth fucktard idiotic moron. Fuck all of you. Here's the last one I got for you guys. You gotta be fucking kidding me, flat earth. This just fills me up with so much rage. I would love to stab every flat earther in the throat and watch them bleed out like the scum they are. Oh my god. This is worse than faggots or even niggers banging white girls. Alright, so that's it for the comments. Do you see the genius of these people? I mean, these are the innovative movers and shakers that are going to create our future. Are you scared yet?
All right. The old saying is you shouldn't discuss politics and religion when consuming alcohol. It needs an update because the flat earth brings out the very worst in people. Striking a nerve akin to a survival instinct, it seems. Oh, as you see here, when you mentioned flat earth around a bunch of intellectuals, sometimes you end up like that. I asked Dave if there was like a stakes around here and a fire. I'm sure fire was prohibited, right? He's like, all right. All truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as self-evident. It is easier to fool people than to convince them they have been fooled. This is Brian Mullen. There are many people that think the earth is flat, but will not say it, or stop promoting it for the fear of the reaction it receives. An example of this is the engineer named Brian Mullen. He started doing flat earth videos from an engineer's perspective, to which his family and job started to feel the effects of questioning the heliocentric model. He has since stopped making videos and associating with anything of flat earth. It is said that his job said they didn't think it was appropriate. Truth is the new hate speech. During times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes revolutionary. I would like also to point out the movement is way more than just about the earth being flat. It's a full-blown truth movement. One where people are truly skeptical and demand evidence for what they have been indoctrinated with their entire lives. One of these questions we get asked a lot is, why would they lie about this? I mean, what are they going to get out of it? My response is, if you can't think of that, you probably need a class of critical thinking. Because, I mean, there are many reasons to ponder. The easiest is for money. NASA gets approximately $57 million a day. I think that's enough incentive right there, if you ask me. All right. Some people like to imply flat earth is something only by religious zealots. In other words, we're just a bunch of religious nuts. I like to put that to rest. We are not a religious movement. There are many people where they were religious before and after discovering flat earth. This is because the Bible and other religious texts actually support the flat, motionless plane. I'm a spiritual person, not a religious one. The movement is based on truth and scientific reasoning, not religion or any other dogma. The real 21st century religion is called scientism. This is what happened when philosophy mixed with science, and you ended up with what we term scientism. And then through the schools, these theories are being taught as if they are based on empirical-based scientific evidence when they are not. They are only theories. People love to claim that flat earthers are ignorant and they are dumbing down society, when once again, this is exactly the opposite of truth. I will put your average flat earther against a magical spinning ball believer any day. Matter of fact, you want to see the dumbing down of America? Go out and ask any person about the heliocentric model. Ask them how far the moon is away. Ask them how fast the earth is rotating. Ask them both about the heliocentric model, and the flat earther will be the one with the answers, while the self-proclaimed heliocentric is sitting there scratching their head because they can't even answer the basic questions of the heliocentric model. So when did I become a flat earther? I tried for many weeks to answer this question and just couldn't come up with a specific time or place. It is something that grows on you. I can't even remember when I first heard about it. I have always loved documentaries, especially ones that have a mystery label to it. Some might label them conspiracy theories, but in reality, they aren't conspiracy theories. What they are is a true skeptical look at the mainstream narrative that is presented to us. There are many of these subjects that I have transformed from conspiracy theory to conspiracy fact. Right. I've always been into space, aliens, you name it. I was so deeply ingrained in this stuff. You know, from the well-known Roswell crash to the even lesser-known Dulce alien wars. You know, they slowly changed though, and I would have to say the biggest game changer was researching the moon landings. If there's one thing that you can do that would hopefully change your mind, and there's so much preponderance of evidence, is to research the moon landings. All right. Okay. There's absolutely zero chance you can research the moon landings and not come away with the knowledge that they were faked. And this fakery continues today with all the charades that you see on the ISS. This is the official photo of the lunar lander. You can go and download this, and they got a really good, I think it's, the quality of it is exceptional. Go on there and just look at it, zoom in on it. Like if you'll zoom in on one of these panels, let's see, I'm not sure if I can zoom out and mess it up, but you can zoom on one of those panels and there's like 4 rivets in it. Actually, they might not even be right, I think they're screws. I mean, I have like a skateboard that has more screws on this, and this thing supposedly landed on the moon and took off again. You notice there is no dust on the landing pads. There's no burn crater underneath. How did that thing land with a rocket propulsion and not disturb any of the Martian soil? I mean, there's many questions that just have one picture needs answers for, and they don't answer it. They just give you excuses. So if you dissect that with your eyes and you don't have some serious questions, then you clearly have a case of cognitive dissonance. This is a clip from Apollo 11. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon. It shows them faking a photo of Earth. Yes, they could have been just practicing for when they do get into there, but I mean an actual picture in the window, if you don't think that's a tad overboard, I call it like I see it, I'm sorry. They faked it all, which is clearly evident when you consider all the evidence.
Here, during another segment, also intended to air after review, Neil Armstrong falsely explains to the viewers how the shot is attained by putting the camera's lens to the window's glass, as it would have to be if they were the claimed distance away from the Earth.
We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled up with a TV camera.
If the window was completely filled up with a TV camera, as he stated, then an astronaut's arm would not be able to get between the camera and the window, as it obviously does here in this outtake.
North America becomes invisible just beyond the Terminator inside the shadow.
You can also notice how the astronaut operating the camera reacted to the mistake by attempting to pan away from it.
Yeah. The white man's station is dropped across the Earth.
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded.
Can you make it louder?
Hang on, after this clip, we tried to get it so it's up there. Hang on one second. Let's see. Was that 115?
Have you got it all the way?
Let me exit out this and then see if that might have something to do with I'm not sure why it's not going through the HDMI. I'll try and explain it a little bit better though. What they're doing is they're faking a picture outside the window of I guess the space shuttle when they're in orbit, and they say they're practicing to go to the moon. But why do you need to put a picture in and fake the Earth looking from the moon when they weren't? They said they were just practicing. But this is official video you can look up.
North America becomes invisible just beyond the Terminator inside the shadow.
You can also notice how the astronaut operating the camera reacted to the mistake by attempting to pan away from it.
The white man's station is dropped across the Earth.
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded, much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up, and you can see the real location of the camera, and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July, and the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July. And then the 20th, and the same misleading shot on the 20th.
Alright, so what that basically showed them was faking a picture outside the moon of outside the window of looking at Earth. They basically put a round picture of Earth on the back of the window and then actually filmed it and then started making up dialogue and inventing dialogue to explain that they were up and going to the moon and this is what they're seeing. So they were all practicing exactly what they do. I don't think they were practicing at all. What they were doing was faking it. That's exactly what they were doing. Alright. The last claimed photo of the entire Earth from space was said to have happened in 1972 during Apollo 17. Seriously, We have 4 cameras on every intersection in America, recording 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How many are there in space doing this? 0. We have 0 cameras in space recording 24 hours, 7 days a week that we have. Why is that? If there's one on every intersection in America, you have any questions about that? I sure do.
It's false.
Is the ISS and all those satellites were actually up there and being used for scientific purposes? There would and should be a slew of cameras recording and broadcasting 24/7 in real time, but we have nothing. So what about the stars? Clearly, the astronauts will remember how the stars look from space. It has to be one of the most spectacular sights one could possibly take in. Quite mesmerizing it should be. Deep, black, empty void of space. Vince, we're not like here. Oh, shoot, I don't know how we can go back there. There we go. I want that to help plan, though. Yeah, it's not good.
You don't see stars in the daytime on Earth. Not because they're not there, but because the atmosphere is aglow with scattered light from the sun. If you take away the atmosphere, the sun will still be there, but the sky goes dark. That's what the folks get when they go to the edge of the atmosphere, and they're calling that the edge of space. But when you get to the edge of the atmosphere is no longer between you and the rest of the universe. And the stars reveal themselves just as they would at night. Since the moon has no atmosphere and a daytime picture, if you're there in the daytime of the moon, you see a full night sky of stars, even with the sun in the sky. You don't see stars in